Hey y'all, this is Yobachi with www.blackperspective.net. This post is going to be a follow-up to the clips I did called Domestic Spying and Corporate Amnesty. I just started recording YouTube videos about 2 weeks ago maybe. And, I started recording them a couple weeks ago, but I just started uploading them last week for the first time. And so when I originally recorded those other spots, they came out real low as far as the volume. They were kind of low when I first recorded them and played them back to myself on the computer before I uploaded them to YouTube. But then when they got to YouTube, they were even lower in volume. So I definitely wanted to do something else that be more engaging, so you guys could hear me better and hopefully listen to the whole thing and get out of it what this is all about. I'm here posting about domestic spying by the government and the amnesty that is being pushed by the corporate stooges in Congress for the criminal telecoms who who gave away our telecommunications information to the government illegally and in violation of the Constitution. This is something that we should not stand for. Again, I've been posting about this at blackperspective.net, and hearing that name, don't get to the attitude of, oh, I don't want to hear those black politics because of the name of the blog. That happens to be where I blog, but this spying stuff and this telecom amnesty stuff has nothing to do with black politics. I do post on black politics, but this stuff is not racial based. It has nothing to do with that at all whatsoever. This is about all of us, and that just happens to be where I post it because that's my blog. And anyway, the first post I did about this stuff was called FISA, Democrats Selling Us Out on Civil Liberties Again. FISA, F-I-S-A, that's the acronym. It stands for Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. And the name of that post, if you want to Google it, even though I should have links to it in the sidebar, again, it's called FISA, the Democrats Selling Us Out on Civil Liberties. And I titled it that because the FISA Act expired back in February. I made this post on February 13th. And the FISA Act expired about 2 or 3 days before I made that post. Actually, not the FISA Act, but the Protect America Act, which is considered to be an update to FISA, which was originally passed in 1978 and then updated in 2001. And the Republicans passed an update before the expiration a few days before. But the update had amnesty. It contained an amnesty for the telecommunication corporate criminals who gave away our communications information to the government without a warrant and without legal standing to do so. And also, it just provides for more expansive spying on Americans by the government while they're claiming to do this to protect us from terrorists. What they really want to do is to get more power to spy on you and me. And we have a right to our freedom and a right to our liberty. And that's what I'm trying to get people to think about and stand up for. And so I made this post about it then with a lot of information in it. And this to go back and try to recap things for people who are not familiar. So FISA was passed in 78 to created a secret court where the government could go to this court and get warrants to surveil foreign operatives without them being able to know, without the warrants being able to be made public so that the targets of the warrants wouldn't know they were being spied on. Bush claimed after 2001, it was insufficient, but he never went to Congress and asked for a new law. He just started spying on Americans and claiming as long as somebody outside of the United States was contacting an American, he had the right to spy on the Americans then. And didn't go to Congress to get a new bill. He just decided he'd violate the law, do whatever the hell he wanted to do. This was even though the FISA was updated in 2001, and Glenn Greenwald at salon.com, SALON.com, Glenn Greenwald, he's been posting prolifically about this issue, and he quotes when the FISA was updated after September 11 in 2001 that Bush said that FISA gave us the telecommunications ability to be able to do the surveillance they needed to do in the modern world. Though Bush is claiming now that Protect America Act expired, that we can't do that. Even though he said in 2001 that FISA itself does that with the update in 2001, and FISA is still 100% in effect. And so we're really getting a lot of double talk out of these people. It also has come to light that the Bush administration started domestic spying almost as soon as Bush took office in February of 2001, months before 9/11. So the claim that these actions need to be taken in response to 2011 because we're in a changed world and this is what we have to do, it becomes clear that it's bullshit if they were doing this before September 11th. And I'll try to have the links to that evidence as well. The thing about the Protect America Act, again, these telecommunications companies were handing over this information to the government, and they were doing it again as well before 9/11. It's illegal, it's unconstitutional, and the Bush administration and a lot of Republicans and the corporate stooge Democrats in the Senate wanted Jay Rockefeller being their leader out of the Democrats in the Senate. They want to give telecommunications companies amnesty for having committed these crimes, to tell corporate America that they can commit crimes against the American people and it just goes away, which also would cut off the ability to file lawsuits and to have investigations into exactly what has the government been doing for the last 7 years, and what is the extent of these criminal acts and who's been involved in any, and keeps us from being able to know what happened and be able to hopefully thwart these type of things from happening, or blunt them at least in the future. And we've got to stand up against this. Some people are of the opinion that we're already living in, we're not really living in democracy or under freedom in the first place. We're just under the guise of freedom, and so it really doesn't matter. However much freedom we don't already have, it could get much worse. This is not the worst of it. And if we sit back and don't do anything and allow these things to continue, it will be much worse. So taking the attitude that we really don't have that much freedom in the first place, so it doesn't matter, is really a self-defeating attitude to take. It could get much worse. So we have to stop these folks in their tracks now. My most recent post on this issue at blackperspective.net is entitled, "At Long Last, Can Liberty Loving Defeat Fear-Mongering?" In that post, it also contains information to contact the House leaders who are now who are the ones who are keeping Protect America Act from going through, because the Senate has already passed their version, and now the Senate has to negotiate with the House to get a bill that they will both accept, and the House is not having been willing to accept it. They allowed it to expire back in February, but the House leaders actually offered an extension to the White House and Republicans in the House to extend Protect America Act for another 3 weeks so that they can negotiate and work out a plan that was acceptable. And the White House and the House Republicans rejected it. So when you hear these people talk about, we've gone dark because of the Protect America Act was allowed to expire by the Democrats, that's a bunch of crap. The Democratic House leaders offered them, and I don't love the Democrats, don't get me wrong. Like I said, the Democrats sold us out in the Senate. Screw them too. I hate both parties. But the Democratic House leaders offered the extension, and the White House and the House Republicans are the ones who rejected it. So they obviously don't really believe that we've gone dark in surveillance of foreign terrorists. Otherwise, they would not have allowed this to expire and not accepted the 3-week extension. And if they do really believe that, then it's their fault. It's the House Republicans and the White House fault that it expired, because they were offered an extension and they rejected it. These are the people you'll want to contact in the House to tell them to stand strong, and that you'll support them if they stand up against Bush for once. Nancy Pelosi, House Speaker; Steny Hoyer, House Majority Leader; James Clyburn, Majority Whip; John Conyers, Judiciary Chair; and Sylvester Reyes, the Intelligence Chair. Nancy Pelosi, in a press conference I saw, named Sylvester Reyes and John Conyers as the two main people negotiating this bill. The number to call for the main switchboard to get anybody else's number in the House is 202-224-3121. That's 202-224-3121. Please stand up for your freedom. There's power in numbers if we all raise our voices. Please call, write, email, and stand up for your freedom. Peace.